Have you ever thought about what it really takes to overcome like really tough challenges,
Yeah.
you know, and then turn those challenges into opportunities for growth?
Hmm.
Well, today we're diving deep into someone who has done just that.
Good.
Zai Miztiq.
Okay.
She's a globally recognized speaker and coach, and she's inspired so many others along the way.
Wow.
And we've got a ton of info to work with today. Her background, what people are saying about her, and details on her programs.
Great.
So let's just dive right in and see what we can find out about her story.
Sounds good.
The thing is, with Zai Miztiq, what's really interesting is how much her own story of resilience is like woven into her work.
Yeah.
She had this, get this, she had this accident that left her with, are you ready for this? A 5% chance of walking again.
Wow. That's incredible. I mean, to come back from something like that,
Mm-hmm.
it says a lot about her.
It's almost hard to imagine, right?
Yeah.
But she didn't just recover. She went on to build this amazing career, a global speaker, life coach, author, an entrepreneur and philanthropist too.
It really shows you the power of, the human spirit.
It really does.
And her experience, probably shapes how she approaches things like coaching and leadership.
Absolutely. It makes her message about transformation so powerful because she's lived it.
Right. Exactly. She's not just talking the talk.
Exactly. And it seems to really connect with people. I mean, she's reached over 1.2 million people in over 37 countries.
Wow. Yeah, those numbers are really impressive. But I think it's more than just the numbers.
Right.
When you look at her credentials, 10,000 stage hours,
Wow.
over 500 media interviews.
Right.
You see how she's consistently connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of reach, that kind of engagement, it comes from building trust
Yeah.
and making a real impact.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some specifics. We know she's been recognized by some pretty big names, the Women Economic Forum, the World HRD Congress.
Hmm.
What makes those organizations, what makes those recognitions so important in her field?
Well, I mean, those aren't just awards, right?
No.
They show that she's making a real difference on a global level. Like, for example, her work with the Women Economic Forum. That was about helping women overcome those obstacles they face in leadership.
Right.
Systemic barriers.
Mm.
She offered real strategies and built a sense of community, which is so important for making change happen.
Yeah, and even the U.S. Department of State has recognized her work. I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think it shows how universal her message is. It might come from a specific cultural background, but what she talks about, leadership, resilience, personal growth, those things are important everywhere.
Absolutely. And it's not just global organizations singing her praises.
Right.
MDM Halima, the president of Singapore, she talked about how inspiring Zai's story is.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty powerful statement coming from the president.
It makes you think about the power of stories in leadership.
Mm-hmm.
When you see someone who has gone through tough times and succeeded, it makes them relatable, authentic.
Absolutely. Okay, but let's talk about the everyday people she's impacted. We have some feedback from her clients that really gives you a sense of the work she does.
Yeah, the client feedback is really interesting. Some of the words that pop up are things like powerful, motivational, small secrets.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like she gives people both the inspiration and the actual tools they need to change.
And there are some really strong comments like, changed man, best session I had.
Yeah. It really sounds like she makes a real difference in people's lives. Not just some feel-good stuff, but lasting change.
Definitely. And, you can't talk about impactful people without mentioning their books, right?
Right.
Zai has 2 books, Turn Your Passion into Profit and 5 Things I Love About Being a Woman. Just the titles themselves, they tell you a lot about her.
They do. They really show how she helps people bring their passions and their work together. That's something a lot of people are looking for, I think.
Definitely. And here's something that really struck me. Zai was the first Singaporean woman to create a Braille book. That says a lot about her.
It really does. It shows that inclusivity is important to her. It's about making sure everyone has access, not just focusing on her own success.
It's about something bigger. Okay, let's move on to her training programs. And let's start with the High Impact Step Up Series Corporate Leadership Training. Bit of a mouthful, but I'm really curious about it.
Oh, yeah. I think the first thing that stands out is that it's accredited by Skills Future Singapore.
Oh, right. That's the national program that's all about building a future-ready workforce.
Exactly.
So having that accreditation really shows that the program is high quality and up to date. But let's talk about the content. What does she actually teach in this series?
Well, it looks like the main focus is developing high-impact leaders.
Okay.
But I think what's really interesting is that she probably defines high impact as more than just business results.
I see.
It's also about having a positive influence and being an ethical leader.
That makes sense given her overall approach. Okay, so let's break down some of the individual programs within the series. We've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right in.
Okay, so the first program that really stood out to me was this one, uh, Resilient Leadership, Turn Pain into Power for Professional Managers. I mean, even the name itself is pretty powerful.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It really kind of hints at her own journey, right? And how she probably teaches leaders to look at challenges as like chances to grow.
Exactly. It's about taking those setbacks
Yeah.
and, not just dwelling on them, but like figuring out what went wrong, learning from it, and coming back even stronger.
Yeah, and I bet she brings in her own experiences to really drive that point home. It's one thing to talk about resilience, but it's a whole other thing to have actually lived through it and come out the other side.
Oh, absolutely. It makes it real, People can connect with that.
For sure. Okay, so another program that seems super relevant these days is the Advancing Women's Leadership for Emerging
Oh,
Leaders.
yeah. That one's all about giving women the tools they need to, like, really break through those barriers,
Yeah,
and to deal with all the challenges of being a leader.
definitely. And it's not just about climbing the ladder, right?
No, it's about leading with grace and grit, which is something she talks about a lot.
Grace and grit. I like that.
Yeah.
What exactly does she mean by that, though? How do those two things work together in leadership?
Well, it's like being strong and decisive, but also being understanding and compassionate at the same time.
Oh,
It's leading with, resilience and strength, but also with humility.
it sounds like a tough balance to strike,
It is.
but really important, especially for women who often face, a unique set of challenges in the workplace. Okay, let's move on to something that's essential for any leader, really. Authentic public speaking mastery.
Yes. The art of getting your message across and, really connecting with your audience.
It's something a lot of people struggle with, even those who've been leaders for a while,
And I think that word authentic, that's key here. It's not about putting on a show. It's about finding your own voice and being genuine.
which is something she seems to be really good at, given all her experience on stage and in interviews.
Exactly. And I'm sure she teaches people how to use their own stories and experiences to make their presentations more, well, relatable.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, for those who are thinking about starting their own thing, there's the Entrepreneurial Leadership Mindset Mastery and Beyond program. I'm guessing this one's all about giving aspiring business owners the, skills and strategies to succeed.
Oh, it's more than just practical skills. It's about really developing that mindset you need to be an entrepreneur, being able to take risks, push through tough times, and turn an idea into something real.
And I bet she uses her book, Turn Your Passion into Profit, to kind of illustrate those points.
Oh, definitely. She's all about making sure your business is something you're passionate about. That's a big theme in her work.
Right. Okay. So we've talked about programs for aspiring leaders, for women in leadership, and for entrepreneurs. What about people who are already in leadership positions? Does she have anything specifically for them?
She does. There's the Emerging Managers and C-Suite Leaders Coaching Program, which is all about personalized coaching and development.
Oh, personalized coaching. What does that look like?
Well, it sounds like she uses this thing called the Strength Finder assessment to help leaders figure out their unique strengths
Uh-huh.
and then how to use those strengths to be more effective.
So it's about understanding yourself and leading in a way that plays to your natural talents.
Exactly. It's about being yourself,
Mhm.
not trying to fit into some mold.
Love that. Okay, last but not least, we have the Community Solution Programs for your CSR mission. This one feels a little different.
Yeah, this one's all about corporate social responsibility. It's
Yeah.
about helping organizations make a positive impact that goes beyond just making money.
So it's about like doing good in the world.
Exactly. It's about aligning your business with a purpose, something bigger than yourself.
It's really great to see a program that focuses on this. It's so important for companies to think about their impact on society.
Absolutely. And it fits perfectly with her whole, humanistic approach,
Hmm.
this idea of creating a world that's more just and inclusive.
Yeah. It's amazing how all these programs, even though they're about different things, they all tie back to these core ideas of, empowerment, resilience, and making a difference.
It really shows how deep and how broad her expertise is. She's not just a speaker or coach, she's a real thought leader.
It's really clear that she, walks the talk. She's taken what she's learned and created this amazing way to help others reach their full potential.
Yeah, and you know what's really inspiring is that it's not just about individual success with her.
Right.
There's this big focus on community working together and making the world a better place.
Yeah, it's like she's saying, hey, we're all in this together. Let's help each other out, learn from each other, and create something great.
Exactly. And that message really hits home, in a world that feels kind of divided sometimes.
Yeah.
She reminds us that we can do so much more when we, work together and support each other.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Zai Miztiq, what are some of the big takeaways for you?
Well, for me, it's how everything connects in her work.
Mm-hmm.
Her own experiences, her coaching, her programs, they all kind of feed into each other.
Right.
And it all comes back to making a positive impact on the world.
It's like a tapestry or something, woven together with resilience and leadership
Yeah.
and this deep commitment to helping others.
And what's really amazing is how she takes these complicated ideas
Sure.
and makes them easy to understand. And she doesn't shy away from the tough stuff,
Right.
but she gives you real tools and strategies you can actually use.
Which is what makes her work so powerful in the end. It's
Yeah.
not just theory, it's about making real changes.
Exactly. She helps people take control of their lives, become the best leaders they can be, and, go out and make a difference.
Well, this deep dive has definitely given us a lot to think about. But before we go, I have one last question for you, the listener.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
If you could choose just one area of your life to step up and really embrace change, what would it be and why?
That's a great question to think about.
Hmm.
And as you think about Zai Miztiq's story, her work, think about how you can use those ideas of resilience, leadership, and personal growth in your own life.
Because we all have the potential to do amazing things, it's just a matter of believing in ourselves and taking that first step. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep stepping up.